the Seals in Teal, an SJ Sharks discussion channel with your host, Lars Young. Hey Sharks fans, let's talk about one of the big debates among fans. Martin Jones or Aaron Dell? Who's the number one guy for the San Jose Sharks right now? Which one of them is going to be the future of the San Jose Sharks going forward? Or are neither of them? Let's discuss. Let's look off at some of the stats. Let's start off with Aaron Dell. Aaron Dell was playing some good hockey, especially with the coaching change. You could see Aaron Dell took it very well. He honestly ran with it for a little bit. There was almost a month to 2 months where he was the starting goalie for the Sharks. He played 33 games. He had 12 wins, 15 losses, 3 overtime losses. He had a 3.01 goals against average and a save percentage of .907. Not bad, not too terrible. Obviously, he didn't have a winning record, but save percentage isn't too bad overall. He is a backup, just to remind everybody. That's what at least he's paid to be, the backup of the San Jose Sharks. So not too bad. Obviously, again, as I just mentioned, with the change of Bugner as head coach and then bringing in Nabokov as the goalie coach for the San Jose Sharks, Dell really received it well. You saw he was just taking with it, and Martin Jones was still kind of struggling. Now, let's look at Martin Jones's stats from the season. When he first came to San Jose, it was actually exciting, and the first season he played with the San Jose Sharks, he looked like an elite goaltender. He was a breath of fresh air for the Sharks. In the Stanley Cup Finals, that's when he played his best hockey for the Sharks. He really stepped up. He even saved the Sharks a few times. He's what kept them in that series. Ever since then, Jones has gone down. Now, let's look at the stats for Jones. 41 games played, 17 wins, 21 losses, 2 overtime losses. He had exactly a 3 goals against average and a save percentage of .896. Those numbers for a starting goalie, not great. That was the major concern going into the season. Can Jones perform to his contract? Can he perform to where he was when he first started with the Sharks? Unfortunately, no. He's been going down, and that's been the mystery. What happened to Martin Jones? What really happened to him? He was with the Kings. He was this great backup who won 8 games in a row, starting. When he came to the Sharks, he was amazing. But ever since then, he's just gone down. Now let's look at their contracts. This is a big one. Martin Jones, first of all, has a $5.75 million cap hit per season, and his contract will last till the 2023-2024 season, meaning we're going to have him for another 4 years. With that being said, is Jones the guy going forward? Now, both goalies are 30 years of age, and that's something big. Is Jones past his prime? Was his mid-20s his prime when he first was with the Sharks? That's the real question, and can he come back to that level of play? Another big question. Now, with this contract, obviously, it does not look good going forward. It's honestly almost holding the team down, his contract, in some ways, based on his play. Now let's look at Aaron Dell. Now Dell has a $1.9 million cap hit, which is pretty good as a backup, but for the most part, he was putting up some good numbers, so his contract was a great value for the San Jose Sharks. As mentioned earlier, Dell is 30 years of age. Now, Dell is coming into a good time for the Sharks, where they're desperate to find someone who's going to step up for them as a goaltender. He obviously did a great job. He had 2 months of consistent, great play. Now, here's the sad thing for a lot of Sharks fans. He will be a free agent after this season. The question is, will the Sharks re-sign him? Naturally, it would be great. He was stepping up his play. But is he going to be worth it is the question. That's what we'll have to see with the Sharks going forward, especially after this season. They do have a bit of cap space to re-sign Dell, but is he a top priority for them? The answer, probably not. There are a couple other players who will be looking at a contract extension with the Sharks, like Kevin Labanc. If the Sharks do move on from Dell, which of course would be very sad, they would most likely promote within. Now, we do have Josef Korner from the San Jose Barracuda. He had an okay season with them. We also have Zachary Sawchenko, Andrew Shortridge, and one younger goalie prospect for the Sharks who may make it to the NHL one day. He's doing a great job in Quebec, Zachary Imond. The question is, are these goalies ready to step up and join the Sharks now? The answer, I don't think so. The only one closest is Korner. With Korner, he would be a good backup for the Sharks if Martin Jones is to be the goalie. The question is when Jones struggles, and that's the question if he will or when he will, would he be able to step up and give some new life for the Sharks? My opinion, these goalies need another year to 3 years to develop before they hit the NHL. And some may not even make it. The next option, obviously, is unrestricted free agents. Now, the big one this summer is Braden Holtby, but the Sharks will not sign him to a contract. First of all, he is 31 years of age, so he is kind of getting past his prime, and he's going to want big money. Not Sergei Bobrovsky money, but he's going to want some money. And the Sharks should stay away from him. We have Corey Crawford, but he's banged up and his time is probably up. Jimmy Howard as well. Now, the only real option that stands out on the free agency list for goalies is Robin Lehner. Lehner would be a great option for the Sharks, but it would have to be a shorter contract to really see that he's worth it. He is 29, and he had, first of all, an amazing year with the Islanders last season. The question is, would he be able to come back to that level? With Chicago, he was doing okay. His save percentage was 0.92, which is pretty good. Actually, really good. That's what you would want to see, actually, in a starting goalie. He had a 2.89 goals against average. Not bad. And I think he could actually even make a great 1A, 1B with Martin Jones. Problem is, we shouldn't be tying down a lot of money to goalies. And he doesn't really say backup as much. Unfortunately, the reality is, we most likely will stick with Jones until either his contract is up, unless we buy him out, or the final option, which some Sharks fans may be looking at, the expansion draft. With Seattle coming in 2021, the Sharks would ideally, if Jones has another bad season, to get his contract off. However, we would have to give away a player and maybe even a draft pick or a prospect just to get them to take Martin Jones. Now, someone said we would have to, if we wanted to give up Martin Jones, we might have to give up Radim Šimik. That's a big no-no. So the only thing we can say right now is we have to hope that Martin Jones will have a bounce-back season, or whoever the backup is for the Sharks next season can step up their play. All in all, it's going to be a really big offseason for the Sharks. It is probably one of the biggest offseasons in their history. There's going to be so much that happens that really determines the future of the Sharks. I think the biggest answer relies on who's going to be the head coach of the San Jose Sharks going forward. Right now it looks like Bugner has the upper hand, but is he really the guy to bring the Sharks to the promised land? The answer is probably no. I think whoever's going to be the starting goalie of the San Jose Sharks going forward really depends also on the head coach and their coaching staff. Do they want to work with Martin Jones? Do they want Aaron Dell? This really all depends. There's a lot of things going on here. And that's what's going to make it a really tough offseason to see for the Sharks. There's going to be a lot of decisions most fans won't like. However, we just got to trust the process too. We just have to hope that DW is true to his word that he wants to make it happen. He wants to really give this team a chance going into next season and bring them back to the playoffs. We'll see. All right, Sharks fans, that wraps up this video. Next week, I'll have another video. As always, thanks again for tuning in. If you like what you hear, please like and subscribe. There will be more content. And as always, I'm your host, Lars Yonk. I'll see you next time.